Football Friday with Rashad. I'm just getting to review and recap of last week's games from college football and the NFL, and look forward to the NFL and college football this coming weekend. Let's get into it. Let's look at college football from last week. College football, you had some upsets that stood out last week. As a recap, last week's review of the games that was from last week that was played last week. Let's get into it. Now, the big game last week obviously was Penn State and Ohio State. Again, Penn State cannot beat Ohio State. Ohio State has Penn State's number. They won for the 8th consecutive time, going to Penn State and winning 20-13. And a big win for Ohio State, about two top four teams. Penn State came into this game undefeated, but they wasn't able to hold it down. It had opportunities, but they was to capitalize, especially on the goal line. They created the defense of Ohio State. They was able to make a goal line stand, and they was able to hold them off and win 20-13 on the road. The thing about this game is that Penn State got off to a great start. Uh, they got 10-0. The thing too about this game is that Penn State did not score an offensive touchdown. The only thing they did was kick 2 field goals and scored on a defensive end, but offensively they didn't do anything. So that's even more alarming for this team of a game of this magnitude to not even score an offensive touchdown. That's what the thing that stood out in this matchup as far as Penn State is concerned. And James Franklin, as a coach for Penn State, has not done well. He's now 1-10 against a program that treated Penn State more like a little brother than a rival. So they still have hopes for reaching the Big Ten championship, but it did take a serious hit with the loss like that, Penn State. So see what happens, how they bounce back. Hello, Pink Palm Puff. Whoever liked this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Got 2 people watching right now. I'm doing the Football Friday with Rashad Mitchell, recapping college football and NFL. Also, you have Miami. Hello, Steamy 19 and Nosy Untrolled 1. Thanks for tuning in. We got 8 people tuning in. Appreciate that. Keep the numbers up. Like I said, I'm doing college football Friday. Football Friday with Rashad Mitchell. So I'm recapping what took place last week in college football. Miami beat Duke by a score of 53-31. This was a very tough game for Miami. They trailed as many as 11 points in this game. They were down 28-17 in the third quarter. Then Miami just took over. They got the best offense in college football, the most explosive. Yeah, how you doing, Green Snapper? Thanks for tuning in. And they was able to outscore them in the second half. And obviously there was records that were set. When you look at, I'm doing the recap of the games in college football. This is Football Friday with Rashad Mitchell. I'm doing a recap of the games from last week. Whoever likes this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Cam Ward, who's playing outstanding this year, had 28-9 touchdown passes. Now it ties Steve Walsh for the most touchdown passes, in Miami Hurricane history. He set that record in 1988. And also Xavier Restrepo, he was able to tie Mike Harley's Miami. Thank you, Gremlin Snapper. Thank you for being subscribed. Appreciate it. Tell a friend, share the channel, tell a friend. Share with those who you know to subscribe. Xavier Restrepo, he tied Mike Harley's Miami career reception record with 182. He broke San Antonio Moss' career receiving yards record with 2,573 as the Miami improved to 9-0 and 5-0 on the season in the ACC. And the thing about Miami, man, they still continue to struggle offensively. Um, on the defensive end, they continue to struggle on the defensive end. Um, they had tough times with Malik Murphy of Duke. They able to make adjustments in the second half, and he intercepted him 3 times and he fumbled the ball away once. So again, Miami still is not good against the pass, despite what Miami did. Again, they got great offense. They exploded for 5 touchdowns and spent 6 second half drives, putting up 36 points to three. It became a blowout. So this team, Miami team, just know how to be resilient. They trailed by 10 or more points before pulling off his 2 wins earlier this season. They trailed by 10 against Virginia Tech 3 different times, including the fourth quarter. They rallied to win that game. They trailed by 25 against California and won 39-38. So you know how to pull these games out. But man has not played a complete game in a long time. Now they rank number 4 in the country. They play tomorrow at Georgia Tech. Let's get to the upsets. Minnesota upset number 24 Illinois 25-17. Oregon beat Michigan 38-17. Obviously, Michigan's finished for the year. They're not. There's going to be a new national championship team. Obviously, um, Florida lost to Georgia 34-20. Texas Tech upset Iowa State at Iowa State, knocked them off the ranks as unbeaten, and they was able to win. Upset number 11 Cyclones by a score of 23-22. Also, South Carolina, shout out to them. They upset number 10 Texas A&M 44-20, and Louisville upset Clemson. This is a big upset right here. Going into Clemson winning 33-21. This game was not even close as the score indicates because they were up big in this game. They were up 26-7. So that was the biggest lead of the game, 33-14. So this game was a rout. You know, it was looked respectable, but it was all about Louisville. They got the job done. They had a great running game, rushing attack, led by Isaac Brown. He had a 45-yard run, including that and a touchdown, 45 yards, 151 yards rushing. And they was able to just run the ball down the throat of Clemson. They was able to win this game 33-21, despite Clemson outgaining Louisville 440 total yards of offense to 3,366. They had 31 first downs, had the ball for 37 minutes and 52 seconds, but it was all for naught. Louisville upset Clemson. That was a big win for them. And that may knock Clemson out of the chance to win the ACC championship game as far as like playing for the ACC championship game, possibly with a win like that. That kind of makes Miami's uh, win against Louisville looks really good after beating the way they beat Clemson, because now Louisville is 6-3. Yeah, so this win, that the Cardinals, definitely put a dent in Clemson's hopes of playing for an ACC title, reaching the playoff football playoff, possibly. That's why Miami got to keep winning on their end. Gibson plays at Virginia Tech tomorrow, and Louisville is off tomorrow. They play Stanford on November 16th. And then how about those SMU Mustangs? SMU Mustangs put a beating on Pittsburgh 48-25. And SMU may be playing for an ACC championship game because SMU is a newcomer in the ACC this year. And they're looking really good this year. They put a beating on Pittsburgh at home. Rashad Smith had 161 yards, including a 71-yard sprint for a touchdown. They dominate this game. They 5-0 in the ACC. So this team looks like they're going to be playing an ACC championship game. They only got one loss. They haven't lost in the conference yet. So it looks like the loss that Pitt had in Clemson. Now the Mustangs are tied with Miami for the lead in the expanded 17 team ACC. So they might maybe on the collision course of meeting each other in the ACC championship game. So that's a big win for them. SMU will not play tomorrow. They got a bye week. They will play Boston College on November 16th. So let's look at what took place last week. Let's look into the picks of the week from last week, how I did. Last week I did pretty good. I think I got all the games right last week. I was 5-0. I think I got a pick wrong last week. Yeah, I got Ohio State over Penn State right, Georgia over Florida right, Miami over Duke right, Oregon over Michigan right, SMU over Pittsburgh. So I was 5-0. Now I'm currently 39-15 on the season. The picks of the week. Let's fast forward to tomorrow. I think Miami will beat Georgia Tech. Miami just got to play better on defense. You know, their offense is explosive. But the key in this game is Georgia Tech is great at running the football. So see how Miami stops the run. But Miami has a very explosive offense. I think it's going to be too much for Georgia Tech to try to handle and slow down. They're definitely going to have to put a lot of pressure on Cam Ward, who's definitely the front runner for Heisman. But I think it's be too much Miami. I think Miami knows what's at stake. They got 3 games to go. Georgia Tech, Wake Forest, and then they got Syracuse. So I think they're gonna handle their business and win on the road at Georgia Tech tomorrow. They got Alabama or LSU. This game may be an elimination game. Whoever loses this game is out of the playoff race. But I got Alabama to maintain their race in the playoffs for the playoffs. I got Georgia over Ole Miss. I got Colorado over Texas Tech. Man, this is a very interesting game. Colorado's looking really good this year. They were like 6-2 this year. They could possibly get into the postseason maybe. So I got Colorado over Texas Tech. And I got Texas over Florida. No, I don't play front note. No, I don't. Let's look at tomorrow's games. No, I don't play Fortnite. No, I don't. Look at tomorrow's game. You got Purdue at Ohio State. I think Ohio State should win that game. Let's look at this Miami Georgia Tech game tomorrow. This is the game gonna be played at high noon as Miami continues to protect their unbeaten record and plan to play for the playoffs. Now he's favored by 11.5 points. Now this series has been a very interesting series. Both teams have won 14 games apiece. This is 14-14 tie. So we're gonna see who's gonna break the tie. What's at stake is that Miami, along with SMU, is one of the last two unbeaten's in the ACC. They're on the inside track of playing each other in the conference championship on December 7th. And meanwhile, Georgia Tech is playing for something, trying to become bowl eligible. Now, key matchup in this game, keep your eyes on wide receiver Xavier Strepo, the Miami Hurricane receiver against Georgia Tech cornerbacks like Warren Burrell and Amari Harvey. Strepo established himself as one of the Hurricanes' all-time wide receivers in last week's 53-31 matchup win against Duke. He tied Mike Harley's Miami career record with 182 receptions and broke San Antonio Moss' career receiving yards with record with 2,573. Now, Georgia Tech ranks fifth in the ACC, allowing 213 passing yards allowed per game, so keep your eyes on that matchup. Cam Ward is one touchdown pass from becoming the first Miami Hurricane quarterback to throw 30 touchdowns on the season, and he's also 51 yards away passing Timmy Chang, 17,072 for number 3 on the NCAA's all-time all-division list. At that point, Ward would trail only former Houston quarterback Case Keenum and Oregon's Dylan Gabriel. Now for Georgia Tech, keep your eyes on Haynes King. He'll be a game time decision. He's dealing with an apparent right shoulder injury. The team says upper body injury. He missed the last 2 games, so Zach Pryron has been the fill-in starter and has been replaced by freshman Aaron Philo last week's loss at Virginia Tech. So Brent Key, the coach of Georgia Tech, hosted that King can play this week, but each backup will be prepared to play. King completed 71.2% of his passes. His dual threat skills as another running threat to the offense because without Key, the Yellow Jackets have scored a combined 19 points in two straight games. Now, Miami leads the country, leads the nation in college football in scoring offense. They're averaging 47.4 points per game. This ahead of Indiana, who's averaging 46.6. The Hurricanes also lead in yards per play, almost the tiniest possible margin. They're getting 7.711, and getting Ole Miss is getting 7.706. Now, Miami was the first team to break 5,000 yards this season on offense. They had 5,012. Miami seeking its eighth 10-0 start, its first since 2017. Georgia Tech is 5-1 against top 25 ACC teams. Under Key includes last season 20-13, 23-20 win at Miami, number 17 team in the country. The Jaguars have not lost three straight games in 2+ seasons under Key, so keep your eyes on that matchup if you're interested in Miami, Georgia Tech tomorrow. Also at high noon is Texas, number 5 team in the country, looking to hold off a possible upset against Florida. Interesting matchup about two SEC opponents. Obviously, Texas is a newcomer, SEC. Texas is favored by 21.5 points. Texas leads the series 2 games to none, so it's only the third time these two teams have met. Uh, Key matchup, keep your eyes on the offensive line that has been getting the quarterback hit a lot. So keep your eyes on edge rushers for the Gaves, Tariq Stapp and George Gumbs Jr. have 6.5 sacks and 10 tackles for a loss. So they will challenge the offensive tackles Kelvin Banks Jr. of Texas and Cam Williams. Texas' first year in the SEC means that the first matchup with the Gaves since 1940, Texas has allowed 11 sacks and 18 penalties in the previous 2 games. 3:30 matchup is interesting. Georgia travels to Ole Miss, number 3 versus number 16. This is a big time game, obviously. Big time matchup. Georgia's favored by 2.5 points. Georgia leads the series 33-13 to 1. Bulldogs head into their final road game, riding a 4-game winning streak, and definitely in contention for the SEC championship game. The Rebels are in a must-win situation themselves. So key matchup of this game, keep your eyes on Ole Miss is a pass rush. They got one of the best behind Sir Tereen, Perkins, and Princely Human Milan. Bulldogs offensive line led by Tate Ratledge have been pretty good at protecting Carson Beck, the quarterback of Georgia. Georgia ranks 29th, allowing 1.25 sacks per game. Meanwhile, the Ole Miss defense ranks second nationally, averaging 4.56 sacks per game. The Rebels average 10.1 tackles for loss, leads the way. Perkins has 9 sacks, and Princely Human Malene has 7.5 sacks. Yeah, I was on that matchup. Michigan plays Indiana. This is an interesting game. Indiana trying to maintain their unbeaten season. They're 9-0. They play the Michigan Wolverines. They're at home. Obviously, Michigan trying to do their best to be bowl eligible. Obviously, they're not going to be playing for no national championship this year after losing 4 games this year. Indiana has the second highest scoring offense this year. 46.6 points per game. Its defense is very stingy. Third in the nation, only allowing 261 yards. So interested to see what they do against Michigan. Another game that's interesting is Clemson. How do Clemson bounce back from a loss last week as they travel to Virginia Tech on the road, looking to bounce back? Keep your eyes on that matchup. That's basically it. We got Colorado, number 20 team in the country. They got Texas Tech. That's going to be a good matchup at 4 o'clock. I think that's the playoff. The playoff ranking, college football playoff ranking. They're Number 20. Yeah, Colorado's having a great season. They're bowl eligible. They're 6-2, only 4-1. They're 4-1 in the Big 12. So this is going to be a very interesting matchup. Colorado's favored by 3.5 points. What's at stake is that Colorado moved into a tie for second place in the Big 12 last weekend during this open day. So the Buffaloes are tied with number 17 Iowa State, who was undefeated before they lost to Texas Tech last week. So see Texas Tech will pull off another upset this week. Key matchup, keep your eyes on Shador Sanders. You have a field day against the Big 12's worst passing defense. Sanders is second in the league with 323.9 yards per passing per game, 21 touchdowns. He's has complete 220 of 300 passes, 73.3%, 6 interceptions, and the Raiders are allowing 307.2 yards per game in the passing game. Pass defense, they're not good on pass defense. Also keep your eyes on Travis Hunter. He has 8 touchdowns this year, touchdown catches. He has 757 yards receiving. Now, obviously, this is going to be an elimination game right here. You have LSU and Alabama. Number 11 Alabama versus number 15 LSU. Both of these teams have 2 losses in the season. This is an elimination game right here. This is big right here. In November, this is a great rivalry. We're going to see what happens on this matchup. Big time matchup. Just no better than that. Right, so my picks to for tomorrow with these matchups in college football. I got Miami over Georgia Tech, Alabama over LSU, Georgia over Ole Miss, Colorado over Texas Tech, and Texas over Florida. Those are my picks of the week. Miami over Georgia Tech, Alabama over LSU, Georgia over Ole Miss, Colorado over Texas Tech, Texas over Florida. Now let's go into the National Football League last week. Did pretty good with the games last week. I was 5-0 in week 9. This is going to like the second half of the season in the NFL in a sense. I was 5-0 with the picks of the week. 32-13 with the picks of the week record. The big game that stood out, obviously, for the Lions over the Packers. They're looking very good right now. That was a statement win going on the road into Lambeau Field, winning 24-14. This offense team to play well, and the defense is playing well. That was a big time win for them. Ravens beat the Broncos, blowout, not a surprise. Bills beat the Dolphins in a close one. The Eagles beat the Jaguars. How about that move by Saquon Barkley, man? Spinning around and hurling over somebody backwards, man. He's playing great, Saquon Barkley, making the Giants regret not signing him. He has 925 yards rushing on the season, and he was able to win against the Jaguars last week. And then the Bengals beat the Raiders. So that was my picks of the week. So I was right about those matchups: Lions over Packers, Ravens over the Broncos, Bills over Dolphins, Eagles over Jaguars, and Bengals over Raiders. Right. So let's look into the NFL games from last week. Other games that stood out. All right, this is again last week. Last week's game, other games that stood out. Washington continued to play well. They won 27-22 against the Giants. They're now 7-2 on the season. As the magical season continues, they're the best start since 1996. The Washington Commanders. The Cowboys lost to Atlanta They deal with injuries, especially to Dak Prescott. He's out for a while with a hamstring injury. So, yeah, the Commanders, they won last week against the Giants 27-22, the best start since 1996. Daniels' team played stellar football, 209 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. They're looking good. Yeah, Dak Prescott hurt his hamstring, so he's on IR. So he'll be out for a while. As the Cowboys lost 27-21. Cincinnati beat Las Vegas Raiders 41-24. Chargers beat Cleveland 27-10. The Cardinals of Arizona beat Chicago 29-9. And the Rams looking good. They beat Seattle 26-20. And Kansas City continue to remain unbeaten. Win overtime 30-24. Travis Kelsey's definitely getting his game on. He's definitely playing well. Um, see, I think he had double-digit catches. Yes, 14 catches for 100 yards. So he definitely playing at the old Travis Kelsey. Kareem Hunt had 106 yards rushing, 3 touchdown passes by Mahomes. Stellar performance by him. He was able to win 30-24. And back to the Lions, man. The Lions may be the best team in football. Again, this game was not even close. They won 24-14, but they had a 24-3 lead in Lambeau Field. And efficiency of golf continues 18-22, 145 yards. They run the ball extremely well. Montgomery had 73 yards rushing. St. Brown had 56 yards receiving. Not great numbers, but he did catch a touchdown. And this is definitely an all-around performance, going on the road and winning. They have 7-1 the Lions for the first time since 1956. This is the third straight year that they've won at Lambeau Field. That's the first time they've done that since they won 6 straight at Lambeau since 1986 to 1991. So, and Derek Goff is on fire. I mean, the last 6 games, he's completed 82.8% of his passes, 140.1 passer rating. That's with the best over any 6-game stretch in NFL history. So he's playing at a record-breaking pace for the quarterback position. The way he's playing the position, he's playing it at a highest level. Probably ever in his career. They played Houston on Sunday night. That's a good game. So let's look at the games from last week. Let's focus on week 10 of this week as we go into like kind of the second half of the season. Before I go and break down the games, let's look at the games. This is a terrible game. I'm not going to talk about the Giants and the Carolina Panthers play at 9:30 in Munich. Terrible game. Kansas City and Denver, interesting game. Obviously, Kansas City trying to remain unbeaten. Pittsburgh versus Washington, that's a good one. 6-2 Pittsburgh versus 7-2 Washington. Jacksonville, Minnesota, not a great game. Atlanta Saints, not a great game. San Francisco and Tampa Bay, interesting game. See if San Francisco get over 500. See if Christian McCaffrey going to be playing this game. Buffalo, the Colts, okay. Chicago versus New England, not great. Uh, Tennessee Chargers, that's not a great game. There's a lot of bad teams in NFL. You got like 9 teams that has 2 wins on the season. Shows the mediocrity that's taken place this year in the National Football League. The product has not been that wonderful. You got 9 teams with 2 wins. Philadelphia Dallas, that's a bad game because obviously Dallas don't have their quarterback Dak Prescott. So the thing about Philadelphia, our guard against is not being overconfident because they're not going to be facing Dak Prescott. And you got the Jets in Arizona, interesting game. See the Jets can bounce, get things going after beating Houston and try to get another win against Arizona. And this is maybe the best game of the day, arguably. The nightcapper, Detroit versus Houston, 7-1 Detroit. Maybe the best team in football in Houston, 6-3. And this game between the Rams and Miami is terrible, terrible football game. Rams need this game to go over 500, but it's not a good game to watch. So we got Miami 1, Tennessee 2, New England 3, New Orleans 4, Jacksonville 5, Carolina 6, and the Giants 7. I think the Raiders are off. So I got 7 teams I counted. It gotta be 9 teams with 2 wins. The Raiders got two wins. Cleveland got two. I gotta be 9 teams. Count it again. Got one, two, three, four, five, six, 7, 8, 9. 9 teams with 2 losses. The problem has been terrible. A lot of mediocrity in this NFL season. I think if you look at it now, man, it looks like it's going to be Detroit versus Kansas City. Maybe on the collision course. We'll see. All right, let's get into the games for this week. Look ahead for the games this coming Sunday. I'm not going to go over every game. I may give you a stat of the week. Start with this terrible game between the Giants and the Panthers. This is a terrible game. Um, the thing about this Giants team is just not that good, man. They had been underdogs in 24 straight games dating back to week 2 of last year. They actually are the favorites against the Panthers, rightly so. I mean, Panthers not that good. Bryce Young will be getting his 3rd straight start. Uh, see what happens in this matchup. But this is just a terrible game. Statton knows that Daniel Jones has been sacked 27 times, 5th most of any quarterback in the NFL, but the Panthers have just 10 sacks this season. Right, this is a bad game. The Bears versus the Patriots, not a good game. What stands out is that you got 2 rookie quarterbacks going against each other. Drake May, who's number 3 pick in the draft, going against number 1 pick Caleb Williams. So that's the only thing that's drama filled, that's interesting. Is those 2 rookie quarterbacks going against each other. Stephen knows that the Patriots have gone 7 consecutive games without reaching 300 yards. Their longest streak since 1992, 1993, 10 straight. Colts and the Bills. Josh Allen's obviously playing well this year, despite not having Stephon Diggs. Marty Cooper, he may be out of this game, but um, this offense have to rely more on the running ball against. Then you have this Colts defense that has allowed the 2nd most rushing yards per game, 149.8. So they may not have Keon Coleman yet. He's dealing with wrist injuries. And Mark Cooper missed last week. Steph knows that the Colts are the 4th team in history to have each of the first 9 games decided by 1-score margins. The Chiefs and the Broncos. The thing that stands out about this game is that 2 of the league's most aggressive defenses stands out in this matchup. First with the Broncos, they're ranked 3rd in percentage of opponents dropbacks that result in a hit, sack, or creating a lot of pressure and the rest for the quarterbacks. And the Chiefs are 8th at 34.2%. So the Broncos will try to bring a big time pass rush against Patrick Mahomes, given his success against the blitzes. Knicks has been sacked 11 times in the past 5 games. But if you look at the Chiefs, they had trouble operating efficiently in the 2 games against the Broncos last season, scoring 1 touchdown and total 28 points. So you can track that. The Broncos are looking to win consecutive games versus Kansas City for the first time since winning 7 straight from 2012 to 2015. Falcons and the Saints, not a great game. Unfortunately, Dennis Allen got fired this past Monday. So interim coach Darren Rizzi takes over. Sentinels that the Saints have 6 touchdown passes through 8 games. Last time they had 7 or fewer touchdown passes over an 8-game span was in 2005. Then you got the 49ers and the Buccaneers, man. This is a big game for both teams. Basically, the 49ers trying to go over 500. Christian McCaffrey should be making his debut this year, coming from his Achilles tendonitis. See how much he plays this week. Keep your eyes on him. Niners can use him against the Buccaneers defense that blitzes defensive backs at the third highest rate in the NFL, 80%. So I'll see what happens with that. If he, but McCaffrey can make a difference against the blitz. Also, the Buccaneers are 8-3 against the 49ers since Todd Bowles became their defensive play caller in 2019. They've dropped their past 3 games without Pro Bowl receivers Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. Stat knows that the Buccaneers have allowed 34 points per game during their 3-game losing streak, which is the second most during that span. This is a good game, Steelers versus the Commanders. Um, for the Steelers, keep your eyes on the run defense. They didn't play well against the Giants rookie running back Tyrone Tracy Jr. He had 145 yards, marking the first time the defense allowed a 100-yard rush all season. Now they're going to face a Commanders running game that is third in the NFL with 163.9 rushing yards per game. So see how they stop that. For the Commanders, they have allowed 5 yards per game per carry, 5 yards per carry or more in 5 games this season. Combined 366 yards rushing, so they got to stop the run. They got to get in with a rushing attack. And the Steelers that ranks 138 yards, 38.1 yards per game. So both these teams can run the football. So that's what they got to deal with as far as that's concerned. The Steelers have averaged 4.2 yards per carry this year. So this is going to be a challenge of the running defenses of the Commanders and the Steelers. See how they handle that. Second knows that the Commanders have gone 4 straight games without a turnover. It's the longest in franchise history since turnovers were first tracked in 1933. That's the franchise longest streak. So they taking care of the football. That's what you got to do. You got to take care of the football whenever you want to be successful. Taking care of football is the key to winning, having a chance to win. The Vikings are 6-2 against 2-7. Jaguars not a great game. But it's like a trap game for the Vikings. They gotta be careful. Sutton knows that the Vikings have 13 interceptions. That leads the NFL. That's their most in the first 8 games since 2003. Titans versus the Chargers. These are the 405, 425, and nightcap of 825 games and Monday night games. So let's get into it, man. 4-5 matchup, not a great game. Titans over in the Chargers. Both Titans and the Chargers like to slow the game down with their physical ball control offenses. Time of possession tendencies is like 4th best in the league, holding the ball for 32 minutes and 34 seconds. The Chargers aren't far behind with 31 minutes and 16 seconds on average. Meanwhile, the Chargers have been among the best passing offenses in the NFL in recent weeks. They had the second most passing yards per game in the past 3 weeks, 279.3. They're going against the Titans' pass defense that is the best, only allowing 155.8 yards per game. Keep your eyes on that. The Titans have allowed only one quarterback to throw for more than 300 yards this season. That's Josh Allen, 323. The next closest quarterback was New England's Drake May, who threw for 206 yards last week. Eagles and the Cowboys. Running back Saquon Barkley is 0-10 in his career against the Cowboys. He's never beaten the Cowboys. I think he'll get a win this week. All those losses came obviously with the Giants, so he's a more talented team. Barkley's having a big time year, averaging 5.9 yards per carry. He ranks second in rushing yards per game, 115.6 behind Derrick Henry. Especially that reverse hurling performance, man. So he's looking to do his thing and see if he get a win personally against the Cowboys as a Philadelphia Eagle. The Cowboys had a dreadful season. Dak Prescott for a while. So Cooper Rush is going to be filling in for him. He was 5-1. His only one loss came in 2022 against the Eagles, where he was intercepted 3 times. So see what happens with that. The Cowboys are 0-3 at home. Not playing good, being outscored 66 points. The Cowboys are 17-1 in division games at home since 2018. The stat to know. They've won their past 10 games. The Jets and the Cardinals. Keep your eyes on the Jets, how they contain James Conner, the running back, and how Kyler Murray scrambled. They got to contain that. Jets have surrendered 209 yards for scrambling yards, fifth most in the league. So they're gonna try to do their best to slow that down. The Cardinals are trying to extend their win streak to 4 in a row. The five wins in the last 6 games. See how they do. Um, so that knows the Cardinals are allowing opponents to convert on 48.2% of third down attempts, which is their second highest rate in the NFL behind the Panthers. Then you got the nightcap. This is the best game, maybe the best game of the year. Best game of the day. This coming Sunday. That's Lions and the Texans. Lions are 7-1. Texans are 6-3. Jameson Williams, the Lions wide receiver, will be returning after a 2-game suspension for violating the performance enhancing substance policy. The Lions did win back-to-back games without him. The offense definitely didn't miss him, averaging 38 points. So he coming back, man. He definitely gonna be a weapon, lethal weapon against this Texas defense. Williams is second lead receiver behind Amon St. Brown, 464 with 464 yards. St. Brown got that, but Jameson Williams got 17 catches for 61 yards and 3 touchdowns. And for the Texans, they're 1-2 while being outscored 75-52 against winning teams. They're 1-2. Lions coming in this game with the league's highest point differential, 110, averaging 32.3 was the game. So it's going to be a big challenge against the Texans. Also, defensive lineman Will Anderson Jr. He might not play due to ankle injury against the Jets. Now, I'm set to know that the last time the Lions started 8-1 or better, you gotta go back, back into time, 1954. That's when they reached the NFL championship game that year, losing to the Browns. Finally got a bad game between the Rams and the Dolphins Monday night. Look at the Dolphins, man. Their first 7 weeks of the season, the Dolphins ranked dead last in the league and expected points added. But since Tua Tagovailoa came back from his concussion, the number has improved to 25.3, the second best in the NFL. So Miami's offense is going to test the Rams defense that leads the league in EPA during its current 3-game winning streak. For the Rams, they have the most passing yards per game, most completion per game, and the fourth most first downs per game when targeting wide receivers. So Miami has had success limiting production from that position. So the Dolphins have allowed fourth fewest completions per game, 9.6, fourth fewest passing yards per game, 118.5, and the eighth fewest first down per game, 6.1, when opponents target wide receivers. So the Rams have the most passing yards per game, 196.8, most completion per game, 16.3, the fourth most first downs per game, 9. So the Rams defense, that knows the Rams defense has scored in 4 consecutive games. According to the Elias Sports Bureau, only 2 teams have done that in 5 straight games. 1952 Rams and 1994 Raiders. For his defense is scoring on defense in 4 consecutive games. Only 2 teams have done it. 5 straight. The Rams, 1952, 1994 Raiders. All right, so that's it for that. Let's get into the picks of the week before I close out for the Football Friday. Rashad Mitchell. Let's see, I got, once again, games I got for the winners this week. I got the Bills over the Colts. I got the Bears over the Patriots. Steelers will beat the Commanders. I got the Eagles over the Cowboys, and I got the Jets over the Cardinals. So Bills over Colts, Bears over Patriots, Steelers over Commanders, Eagles over Cowboys, Jets over Cardinals. Those are my picks of the week for week number 10 in the National Football League. That'll be it for that. So that concludes this episode, this Football Friday with Rashad Mitchell. Thank those who tuned in this evening. I'll be back tomorrow. Not tomorrow, maybe tomorrow, but definitely Sunday for the week that was in the NBA. I may not do no live stream tomorrow. But I'll be back for the week that was in the NBA, for week 3 of the NBA on Sunday night at 9 o'clock for no live stream on Sunday. May do a live stream tomorrow, I'll see. Until then, have a good night.